We need to find the limit of the fraction where the numerator is cosine of 5 times x minus 1 and the denominator is sine of x as x approaches 0. Let's first evaluate the numerator by replacing x with 0. Cosine of 5 times 0 minus 1 is cosine of 0 minus 1, which is 1 minus 1. So, the numerator becomes 0. Now, let's evaluate the denominator by replacing x with 0. Sine of 0 is 0. Combining the results from the numerator and the denominator, we get the fraction 0 over 0, which is an indeterminate form. Since we have an indeterminate form of 0 over 0, we can resolve this by taking the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator to find the limit. The numerator is cosine of 5 times x minus 1. The derivative of cosine of 5 times x is negative 5 times sine of 5 times x. The derivative of negative 1 is 0. So only minus 5 times sine of 5x remains. We use the chain rule on cosine of 5x. The denominator is sine of x. The derivative of sine of x is cosine of x. After taking the derivatives, the new limit expression becomes the limit as x approaches 0 of the fraction with the numerator being negative 5 times sine of 5 times x and the denominator being cosine of x. First, let's evaluate the numerator by replacing x with 0. Negative 5 times sine of 5 times 0 is negative 5 times sine of 0. So, the numerator becomes negative 5 times 0, which is 0. Recall that sine of 0 is 0. Now, let's evaluate the denominator by replacing x with 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, so the denominator becomes 1. Combining the results from the numerator and the denominator, we get the fraction 0 over 1, which equals 0. Therefore, the limit of the original expression as x approaches 0 is 0.